Currently snowed in at my house. It's like fucking Antarctica in here. It was supposed to rain, but instead it snowed. So I can't go anywhere. So it's time to Blu-Ray and chill. So compared to some of you guys on the East Coast, this snowstorm is like weak. The issue here is the roads are all icy. You can't get out and do nothing. And when you are out on the roads, everybody's sitting there driving 5 miles an hour. People here are like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So I'm trapped here in the house. It's time to get down. We got the snacks, we got the movies, and we got the weed. Yeah, buddy. All right, first up, we've got Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, the first thing that immediately drew me into this movie in the trailers was, of course, the airplane scene. I was just like, holy shit, that's tight. And I'm glad that they didn't make us wait for it. It was right there in the beginning. I don't think it was better than the last movie, but, you know, it's still worth a watch. And is that oh my God. Spine slash on my damn steelbook, man. Then we have Ted 2 here. Now, I'm no fan of Seth MacFarlane at all. I don't watch his TV shows. They're not funny to me. I did like Ted, and Ted 2, I don't feel as good as Ted, or some people might say that the movie sucked. I like the story behind it, the whole legalized Ted aspect, because that shit really happens. You know, they stripped him of everything. You're not a human being. You don't have a soul. You can't have a job. You can't have an apartment. You can't do nothing. My only issue with the whole cast, what happened with Mila Kunis? She didn't want to do the movie because the way they just wrote out the story was kind of bland. Oh, she didn't want to be around no more? Okay. Kind of makes the end of the last movie insignificant because she kind of made it possible for Ted to be back alive. So you'd think she'd be a very important person in Ted's life. Fantastic Four. You know, Fantastic Four, what it had going for it is that I went into the movie knowing that everyone thought this movie was complete garbage. I didn't feel like it was garbage. I felt like it's not what it was supposed to be. It was definitely not on the level of Marvel and the X-Men films. I don't know, it just wasn't that bad. Maybe if they follow through with the sequel, and the sequel is actually a solid story, this one won't seem as bad, but so far from everything that I've been reading online, they seem to be quietly dismissing the Fantastic Four sequel. But you know what? I wouldn't mind if it continued. Then I got the Nutty Professor here. And this is the one where Eddie Murphy is a 400, 500 pound man, and he's trying to lose weight for this woman that he really likes after he gets shamed by Dave Chappelle at a comedy club. So he comes up with this formula. You know, he loses all this weight, but it's only temporary, and he gets this psychotic alter ego, Buddy Love. And the conflicts between Buddy Love and Professor Klump, that's Eddie Murphy at his best. Maybe for that comeback, he should include a Nutty Professor 3. What's the latest with Buddy Love? Has Buddy Love infected the internet and social media? Come on, Eddie Murphy. Get out of this slump. Then we have Snitch here. Now, the first time I saw previews for Snitch, I was like, why is The Rock in a movie about snitching? You know, I personally do not advocate snitching. And if you watch this movie, that's exactly the reason why. At the beginning of the movie, The Rock's son is set up. His friend has already been caught by the DEA or whoever. They told him, if you want a lighter sentence, we need to get a conviction off of you. You need to get us someone else. So what does he do? He calls his friend and says, hey, can I deliver this package? You know, it's going to have some E or whatever. The friend's like, oh, you know, I don't know. So they coach him into it. So he's not even part of the drug ring, but they go ahead and go after him anyways. That's what they do with Snitch. You know, it used to be you snitched and you got off. You can do your thing until, you know, they got revenge or you go into witness protection. Nowadays, you snitch and you still get like your full sentence. So it's like, why are you even snitching? It makes no sense. Yeah, I know there's people that be like, oh, don't break the law. You know, sometimes the law is not my sense of morals, because the Holocaust was legal. Slavery was legal. Just because it's the law doesn't mean it's right. Then next up, we got It Follows. We just got off the topic of morals. Now, when I describe this movie, I would describe it as an STH, a sexually transmitted haunting, because that's exactly what it is. In the beginning of the movie, you got the main character. She meets up with this guy that she's kind of crushing over, and really he's a cold piece of shit for this, because he knows what's about to happen and he's giving it to her anyways. This is like if you had AIDS, willingly bareback someone. So a ghost is following this guy, and if it eventually makes its way to him and gets to him, it's going to fuck him until he dies and pisses himself, or it pisses itself, or whatever. Some weird shit going on with it pissing itself. So he humps her, and then he ties her up, and he shows her what's going on. He says, you know, I've passed this on to you. You got to go pass it on to someone else. And if you pay attention to the technology in the movie, they got VCRs, they got box TVs. I don't want to say it's ancient technology. Antique technology is the word I'm looking for. It just has a real, a real grimy feel to it. Like maybe you're fucking, I don't know, drunk or hallucinating or something like that. That's the way I felt throughout the movie. Like maybe I'm high on some kind of psychedelic, and it wasn't the weed I was smoking. Then we have Southpaw here. Now, this was an alright boxing movie. To me, the greatest boxing movie that I've seen recently is probably The Fighter. But this one was alright. He loses his daughter after his wife is killed during an altercation with another boxer. You got another boxer who wants to fight Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like, you know, whatever, I'm here with my family. And his wife gets killed in the course of this altercation. They lightly touched on the murdering of his wife. You know, like, I don't know. They didn't build it up like they should have built. Like, if they were going to build up this big-ass boxing match, they got to promote it like fucking WrestleMania or something. Like, this motherfucker murdered your wife. You're out for revenge. This is you making your comeback. And you're going to destroy this motherfucker that was responsible for killing your wife. Our killer has not been brought to justice, but you're going to seek justice on his goddamn face. You know, that's how they got to pump it up. They didn't pump it up like that. Okay? It was a bit of a letdown. But overall, I thought the movie was okay. Then the last movie I watched was Jersey Boys. Now, the way that I would describe Jersey Boys would be Goodfellas, the musical. This tells the story of Frankie Valli and all his gangster ties on the East Coast. You got The Godfather, you have the Sopranos, you have Goodfellas. It's almost like these films themselves are their own gangster cinematic universe, and this movie just feels like it would be part of that universe. The only problem I had with the movie was the casting. One of the guys in the movie looked like he was 42 years old, and the rest of the people looked like they were 15, 16, 17. And the guy that plays Frankie Valli looks a lot like David Berkowitz. So that was really distracting to me. I couldn't get behind the songs all the way because it's like this fucking Son of Sam on the screen right now. You know, it was a little weird to me. So that was the only thing I didn't like about it. Alright, so there we have it. Everything that I watched while I was snowed in. Hopefully I melt and I can get out of this goddamn house sooner or later. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the movies that I watched. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next time I see you, stay true and stay blue. Oh yeah.
I'll make it home tonight.
Make it home.
I hope I make it home tonight.
Make it home.
I hope I make it home tonight.
Make it home.
I hope I make it home
Gotta have a
tonight.